You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Ahead tonight, it's something you don't see every day. Two moose wander into downtown Missoula. We'll have the details about where these animals are tonight. Treasure State teams will find out if they advance to play in the state basketball championships. We'll have a statewide coverage from all of our teams around the state and see those games that are underway tonight. But first, could a second roof be in danger of caving in on the Montana State University campus? A new report tonight from university officials indicate that there could be another problem. Montana State officials say an assessment of another gym roof directly north of the one that already collapsed is also showing signs of caving in now too. MTN's Cody Boyer tells us how school leaders are trying to prevent another disaster from happening.
It's crazy that that happened on a college campus.
MSU officials say crews are still working quickly, a day after the South Gym's roof slammed into the gymnasium floor below, a sight seen even more clearly from the university's drone footage. Now, the threat that the North Gym's roof could follow suit has students like Logan concerned.
There's always people in that gym too. You can always walk by it and there's, whether it's ROTC or exercise classes or even intramurals.
In an online release, university communications say crews are keeping a close eye on the North Gym, isolating utilities and closing Grant Street.
There are older buildings than that one on campus, so it was kind of like, ooh, maybe, we should be a little bit more cautious. But they're getting it under control, and saw them clearing snow off the rest of the field house yesterday.
The signs reading "keep out" are commonplace right now as the safety teams go in and make sure that this building is structurally sound. Students hope, though, that the rest of the assessment goes to the outside buildings.
I have a class 2 times a week in this building, and I don't know when that's going to resume.
Kyler and his wife Alexa say as they look on the wreckage of the South Gym, they hope another collapse can be avoided.
It definitely would have killed people, without a doubt. There's a lot of people that use that building.
We can only hope that going forward, the necessary precautions are taken to prevent anything happening.
All right, and that's MTN's Cody Boyer reporting for us from Bozeman. MSU officials say that there are at least 24 engineers evaluating the 40-plus flat roof buildings on campus. An investigation continues at a Great Falls refinery one day after an explosion rocked that facility. Employees returned and business is as usual. Calumet says there were no major interruptions at their operations. That fire started at the plant Thursday afternoon. Smoke went billowing from the facility. Nobody was injured, but today Calumet says they remain committed to a safe environment. You may find yourself complaining about all the continued cold weather, but experts say all of this cold actually could be a good thing to avoid flooding this year. From the Bitterroot to the Flathead, western Montana has huge amounts of snow. In some areas, it's the most in 5 years. It's a plus for summer water supply and for rivers flowing slowly.
I think the thing that we're a little bit concerned with right now is that we don't warm up too quick, because right now we're temperatures in the 30s and that's the way it's going to stay for this next week. And that's a good thing because that'll just help melt a little bit of snow slowly as we go in through this next week in the valleys mainly. That's our main concern now, is just some of these valleys that got dumped on with snow.
Testing shows most of the snow is fairly dry, although there's anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of water content depending on the location of that snow. In Red Lodge, city leaders are finding ways to deal with no running water in the town. About 40 homes are without water because of frozen pipes. So the city council is allowing for higher water usage without more charges, and they're letting neighbors hook up hoses to other homes. Businesses are even donating pallets of water to help each other out. Montana businesses will see a reduction in insurance costs approved by the Montana State Fund. It's a reduction of about 8.6%. It's the 13th consecutive year that rates went down. The state fund provides workers' compensations insurance for 24,000 Montana businesses, and these lower rates allow employers to save and invest back into their businesses.
Montana still has one of the highest rates of injury than any state in the nation, so there's room to improve. But this is a good sign of a continuing trend of decreased accident frequency.
Governor Steve Bullock declared the rate reduction a good thing, in fact, saying it will benefit Montana employers and workers. Big news for the former Kmart in Havre. North 40 Outfitters is going to relocate to that building. North 40 is almost doubling its capacity to 91,000 square feet. In addition to the size, they'll expand products and hire additional staff. A full remodel will start right away. They plan to reopen later this year. North 40 Outfitters has 2 stores in Montana. Helena's longtime police chief is retiring with nearly 44 years of service. Chief Troy McGee says he knew back in middle school that he wanted to be in law enforcement, so he attended Carroll College and then worked at the sheriff's office before joining Helena Police in July of 1975. He then became the chief in 1996. But now he says it's time to pass the torch.
I remember some of the great times I had on the street. I remember some of the very dangerous times. You know, there were some incidents that happened that were pretty scary. You know, some of the criminals that I put in jail, some of the crimes that I solved, you know, some of the lives I saved, some of the mistakes I made along the way. You know, you remember all that, but I think I made a difference.
What's next? McGee plans to spend more time with his 4 young grandchildren, enjoy more of Montana, and visit Ireland. It was a majestic moment, one that you want to take a look at. As you can see, here is a mother moose and her calf being released west of Missoula in the 9-mile area. And as you can see, those with Fish, Wildlife and Parks guided the animals to freedom. This after they were spending their day a little too close to people in downtown Missoula. But before all of that happened, it was an unusual sight this morning in Missoula as the mother moose and her calf were spotted meandering through town. Residents were asked to avoid the area, and MTN's Katie Miller captured the exciting moments when they were caught.
She's standing up, actually, so.
A mother moose and her bull calf were tranquilized in downtown Missoula on Friday. The pair spent the morning bedding down and biting at trees in an alleyway on Pine Street. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks and Missoula Police contain the area. Officials believe these are the same moose that visited Greeno Park earlier this week. FWP Warden Joe Jackwith says tranquilizer darts were used to keep the animals and people in the high-traffic area safe.
In the rattlesnake in Greeno Park, they're probably okay, you know, with a little posting to let people know they're there. Downtown Missoula, there probably just is no good outcome for that, so we want to get her out someplace where they're going to be safe.
Eventually, both started to wander. They were then tranquilized, tagged, and carried to a nearby trailer. Lifting took almost a dozen men, and FWP says the mother moose could weigh more than 800 pounds. After safely waking up, the moose went back to FWP offices. From there, they will decide where to release the animals. In Missoula, Katie Miller, MTN News.
So FWP biologists say they want to give a big thanks to Missoula for helping keep the area clear while they retrieved those moose. Tonight, matchups on the hardwood are heating up as high school basketball gets underway all across Montana. And we are joined now by our statewide MTN team of sports reporters for a look at what's on tap tonight.
Hello again, everyone, from your state AA basketball tournaments in Butte, where if Thursday was advancement day, Friday is clinching day, and that's what we've seen so far. 3 berths in the state titles are now complete. We start things off on the guys' side, where Bozeman's in its 4th consecutive state championship game. They, of course, have fallen in the last 3, and top-ranked Missoula Hellgate will get a shot at the Hawks on Saturday night. Meanwhile, Billings West just routed Missoula Hellgate, ending their magical hopes at a state championship. And last up right here, it's crosstown between Helena High and Helena Capital. Either the Bruins or the Bengals will get a shot at Billings West in Saturday's title game. But that'll wrap it up for Friday here at State AA. Let's head up to Great Falls and Tom Wiley.
Thanks, Richie. Back here at the state single A tournament in Great Falls, where after a regular season, a district tournament, a divisional tournament, and a few games in state, it boils down to the same 2 teams who were in last year's state championship. The Havre and Hardin girls will have a rematch Saturday night at 6:30. We'll bring you a recap of both semifinals tonight on air and online at montanasports.com. Plus, we'll see if the boys matchup can have a rematch as well. Will it be Billings Central and Hardin in tomorrow night's boys state championship? Find out. But for now, at the state single A tournament, Tom Wiley, MTN Sports. Let's send it over to Brooke Leonard in Belgrade.
Thanks, Tom. The stage is officially set for the Class B Girls State Title Championship tomorrow evening. We'll have all the highlights from the semifinal games earlier today coming up at 10. Also coming up, the boys Class B State Championship game. Can Big Fork make a repeat, or Missoula Loyola Pensacola get in their way. Let's head over to Billings for the Class C state tournament.
Thanks, Brooke. Semi-final night at the State C, and we start off with Arlee, back-to-back state champs, but the road to number 3 won't be so easy. A hungry Chinook team awaits. Chinook, undefeated on the season, but have not won a state title since 1986. In the nightcap, we have Manhattan Christian and Melstone. The Eagles, runner-ups the last 2 seasons, and they did beat Melstone on December 8th by 15 points. We'll have full highlights tonight in sports at 10 o'clock. For now, though, I'm Dan Dragon for MTN Sports.
All right, thanks everybody for that. And don't forget, you can get all of those sports scores, full coverage of stories at montanasports.com. On this International Day of Women, we take a look at some of the women who are helping to shape our great state. In Butte, there was a celebration for women who started small businesses. Butte has a long history of women entrepreneurs, some of which have been in business for 40 years. One of them is Carrie Fisher. She owns 2 restaurants in Uptown Butte.
What are you struggling with? What are you proud of? And just really network and become a supportive, building network for these, local businesses. The Butte women are extremely strong women and resilient.
They sure are. And those who celebrated the work of women in Butte say women are not afraid to take on the chance of a small business and do the hard work as well. Well, still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news. Well, sports can mean a lot for a small Montana community, so we're going to catch up with the Chinook Sugar Beaters to find out more. And of course, Bob McGuire, he is looking ahead to the weekend in his statewide weather forecast. It's all coming up right after the break.